the opening theme of this. I like that little, that thing, right on cue, the little dee-dee-oo. That's not what it sounds like at all. Hello, I'm back to play Roadwarden again. I don't feel very good. My roommates are all gone for longer than usual, so I kind of wanted to use the time to, like, record while I sort of have the house to myself, but at the same time, bad day for that to happen, because I don't feel very well. Hopefully I'm not actually sick. That's part of why I'm concerned about getting sick all the time, because I literally feel sick half the time. So I'm like, if I was genuinely sick, would I even know? Because I have symptoms of sickness all the time, because I have, like, chronic problems. So anyway, pardon me if the video is a little bit shorter or something. So I suppose we will just have to see how that pans out and what happened. Day 4? So that guy that wanted me to go pick up a fish for him, he said it has to be done by, what, like October? Because I said, oh, that might take me a while to do, because traveling with a live fish is hard. He said, that's okay, as long as you do it by such and such time. Also, I'm not recording these back to back. I record them on different days. Like, is this quest different if you tell her no? Because, you know, there was the option to be like, why are you asking me to do all this crap? I don't want to do it. If you say that, does she still end up asking you to do it and this is the same, or does it actually change? Day 20 or earlier. Now this has an actual... So I guess maybe this doesn't have a distinct time limit, because if it did, wouldn't it say it? Just like this one does? I did want to go back through this village. I already read this, so I guess we're just gonna set out. I've already been to all these places, or I can't get any further. I could go back through the heart of the forest. I think I want to return to the village, check on my fish. I want to go this way, because it was being blocked by some animals one time, but maybe they've moved now? What do I have in my inventory? I managed to get through the heart of the woods. Oh, I'm changing every day. I'm a growing boy. I'm a growing boy who's gone through the heart of the woods. I open this? I want to see where the other one was that the guy was talking about. Secret Chamber of a Dolmen, which I found. Or the monks near Old Pagos. I want to check out the Old Pagos thing. Like, is this chamber gonna come up anywhere else? Because I don't want to open it and then talk to a new NPC. They're like, oh yeah, I'll give you a reward if you get this box I left out of this place. And then you're like, oh, I shouldn't have given that to the man. I should give it to this other person, you know? So anyway, let's get out of here. Travel to the Rons. Fish trap! I caught 2 fish! I got 2 fish! Okay, first reading of the day. Let's get this text comprehension skills, gamers. What if I did singing warm-up to read? You pull the rope and see 2 flopping fish inside. You prepare your axe, then open the lid and reach for your catch. Stun the animals one by one with 2 careful blows in the top of their heads, then finish them off with a knife, cutting underneath the gill plates. The gill plates. You spend another minute or 2 bleeding out the fish in the stream, then cover them with a waxed linen sheet. You should eat them soon before they spoil. Oh, Dams. Dams. Can I sell them to someone? Like, I don't think I'm gonna eat them that soon. Might as well take the fish trap back. I want to kind of explore the map. I don't want to have something, hey, I managed to catch a fish. I don't want to, like, have something I have to keep going back to or keep in the back of my mind, like, oh, I better check that. It fish. Bartered for food or sold. Maybe that's the ticket. I sell fish for money. So I'm going to explore the northwest part of the village now. The colorful, I can't get into my generic narrator voice. I think because my nose is so stuffy, I sound, like, weird. What's going to happen to generic narrator, man, if he can't narrate? What's he going to do? What's his new job? What else can you do with a terrible accent? The colourful grass covers the entire fenced pasture. The large stone placed in the middle suggests it could be a playground for ibexes, or maybe it's just an old garden. You see a couple of small sheds, a latrine, and a single building in the south, completely burnt down. All of these places were cleaned up by the scavengers. Scambledegg doesn't want to approach the large ruins in the north. The terrible stench of feces and rotting food scares you off as well. The paths are covered with goblin footprints. It's daytime, so the pack should be asleep. If the beasts were active, they would try and scare you off or hunt down your mount. This is their territory, and once they wake up, you will face a furious enemy. Well, let me not be there. Can I see the main square? Because their territory is like up in the north, right? So I hope I don't get attacked. In every village, the main square is the fanciest area, meant to charm the travelers. Yet this is way more than you expected. The houses are as big as in Hovlevan, and the paved ground took a lot of work and materials. The walls, now charred and riddled with holes, are made of an expensive coated wattle. The tiles for the roofs also had to be brought here from a different settlement. You peek inside the 3 smaller buildings, the rotting remains of their former splendor. The birds living in dozens of nests respond to your arrival with quite a commotion. You don't find even a single dragon bone, nor a tool or a piece of furniture left unbroken or unrotten. You're surrounded by bad smells, dirt, animal droppings, and garbage. The well also stinks. It has no bucket, but you'd be afraid to use it anyway. Who knows how many birds have relieved themselves inside, or how many old rats have found their death while climbing up the walls. Suddenly, you hear some sounds coming from the largest building. Your stomach makes you let out a painful groan. I thought I remembered running into... Is there a person here? Like when I played the game the first time a billion years ago? So maybe it's not an enemy? Like, did I talk to somebody? I thought I remembered talking to someone somewhere that was like this. But am I willing to risk somebody attacking me or something just on the fleeting memories of something that might have never happened or been true? How about I save? Because, like, what I want to do is walk away. I'm going to rely on my memory, and if my memory lies to me, I'm going to resave and pretend that never happened. I should check it out. I prepare my axe. You step cautiously towards the scent of urine and sweat. The flickering candlelight shows you broken furniture, yet no signs of burnt wood. You consider pulling the other door when a masculine voice proves that your presence is not unnoticed. I don't want it to come to this, but stay where you are. Whatever you put inside, be it a shoe, a hand, or your damn fucking head, it will get a bolt in it. Yeah, let's make a joke out of it. Well, I was looking to get my ears pierced anyway. Are you really gonna get everything in a single shot? Some people don't like when you're friendly with them. They get offended. So I think if I say relax, I'm a Roadwarden, they'll be like, I don't give a god bump who you are, man. I said I will shoot you, and I meant it. Relax, stranger. I'm a Roadwarden. I'm gonna say it. And you chose this place to visit from all that there are? I don't know what voice is this. Even outlaws don't come here. He pauses, then goes on before you respond. Maybe you're telling the truth, so let's say this. My little ballista here is pulled and ready. You won't do anything stupid, right? No running, no jumping around. Show your hands. The man's voice lacks confidence. His accent is tricky for you. He could be from the distant south, but as long as you don't speak too quickly, you understand one another. You don't hear any other movements, breathing, voices. You lean your axe against the door frame and make sure that your knife is well hidden. I walk inside. The dense smell of urine hits you with full force, while the tools and utensils are hard to distinguish from rubbish. The route to the upper floor is blocked by the collapsed roof and loose wooden beams. There are scraps of rusting iron and steel on the ground, detached from now destroyed barrels. The scavenger is sitting on a blanket in front of the tent, pointing at the floor with his loaded crossbow. Not a short man, though a bit skinny. He's tanned, dark-haired, and has seen his share of struggles. There are long claw scars on his left cheek, and another one that would divide his eyebrow in half if it hadn't been consumed by fire, just like the rest of his forehead. His clothes are untainted by vanity. He's barefoot, in a dirty linen shirt with rolled-up sleeves and simple pants that use a cord for a belt. His long beard and hair are untrimmed and tangled. I feel like I could probably take him either way, maybe, so, better to just seem like not a threat. I sit on the stairs with raised hands, I'm not a threat. Wipe the dust off the steps. Before you sit down, you hear the man's annoyed voice. Now don't go getting too homey. It's the only place here that's not just ashes and debris, and I'm not sharing it. You better ride ahead. I already piled up whatever hasn't rotten. The candle lights are dancing on his burnt face and arms. He moves his crossbow just enough to make sure he won't shoot you by accident. I saw your horse. Maybe you could help me? What are you looking for in this place? You don't sound like you're from the north. But this is probably actually true for him, but, I don't know, I guess this is kind of true. He's kind of just exploring to explore. I would say this option, and this option. probably are the main things that he would want to say. I need to get to know the peninsula if I'm going to patrol it. Then better stay away from the eastern paths. No shell rides there anyway. But even the west and the coast have roads like moose crap. I've traveled and pedaled for years, you know. I wait for some group to join. And here, people don't travel or know a damn thing about any place. Just a waste of time, I tell you. A long pause. Listen. He scratches his thighs nervously. I'm hungry. So damn hungry. I can't hunt or fish with all the ape men around. Can you share anything? I may be a drifter, but I wouldn't beg if I hadn't lost my bags on the road. I don't know. Can I just be nice? Like, I have, 6 foods. How much am I gonna give him? I better not give him 6 foods. I don't want to give him all my food. Oh, I should be able to give him the fish I just bought. 2 food rations. Oh, what did I say? I didn't even read the dialogue. Sorry, because I don't know what he's responding to. Ha, you say so, but you don't know my dearth. He bites into the sausage right away, but after a couple of solid bites, he puts your gifts on an unfolded tunic that's lying on the floor. Without you, I'd have to run after birds with my ballista, but I need to save the bolts for the ape men. And because of these stinkers, I can't roast here, and raw meat makes me want to puke. Ugh. Thank you. After a moment of hesitation, he grabs one of the plums. Now, Roadster, he says with a full mouth. If you have questions, ask. I'll say a lot to make you get me out of here. I'm like biting my finger. How do you keep the goblins away? Does he still have food in his mouth? Probably not. I got a trick or two to keep me safe. A little something that scares them away, even without magic. But I'll tell you what. His smile turns into a wide grin. Help me get out of here, and I'm going to share some of it with you. Tell me about yourself. He gives you a sullen glance. What for? I don't have a legacy to keep alive and tales. Maybe I'll tell you this and that after you get me out of here. You sure there are no undead around? He nods. I haven't seen any. People say it's been less than 10 years since the herds came here, but I don't know if anyone bothered with raising the pyres. If not, the dead are all roaming the forest now. He clicks his tongue with frustration. It may be that there's a walker somewhere under the debris waiting to break through like a dragon in an egg. He looks straight at you. So don't go digging around or anything. Can I say this in, not a mean way, but in a, physical sickness way? This village makes me sick. Yeah, me too. In the guts and in the thinker. It gets easier with time, if you're patient. It must be the air, the smell of death. Death and ape-man piss. He pats his stomach while laughing. You searched the entire village? Are there no hidden treasures left? Treasures? You came to the wrong place. Time, moisture, and the damn borers devoured all the loot. I've been here for a couple of days now, and all that's left is this iron I carried here. I was planning to get back here with some hired muscle and clear the collapsed buildings, but I doubt it's worth the time and risk. Do you have any idea what happened here? Well, I won't guess, but I saw lots of ruins. There's no treasure and skeletons here, so this place means as much as dirt. Someone was barking too loud, so the beast broke through and made them quiet again. And that's that. Talking about nature's fury brings bad luck, don't you know? I'm looking for another Roadwarden, a man known as Asterion. I've never met him, but I surely heard his name many times. He vanished way before I got to the coast. At first, people were asking about him. Now they think he's dead. Dead? I've heard about some bandits. Have you seen any hideouts nearby? Nah, I think they're in the north or east. I stuck to the western roads and no shell bothered me. Sorry, I can't help you. I should ask him what he wants. So, where do you want to travel to now? And what will you give me for my help? Alright, let me explain first. So, I was in Howler's Dell, the closest village to the east and the north, and people there are nice, you know. Not like an old Pagos. They're all boring and grimmer than a crow. But they cry coin for everything, and damn good coin. I left, wanted to look around the ruins, see if there's anything left, but then moved to Pelt and hired the hunters to help me there. No such luck. A bunch of griffs jumped my packbird, which I just bought. He spits on the floor. Fast and nimble, but not brave enough to listen to me when all that screeching and scratching started. So it ran away with my bags. A few fell on the ground and I pulled them here, but you see how it is. I won't travel around with a tent on my back. He taps the crossbow with his fingers. I need maybe a day more, just a day. Then I'll have all the iron scrap from the barrel so I can finally move forward. But I can't take all my stuff alone, and without me, the ape men are going to break in and steal all my shit. So I kind of need to stay here, but since you have a horse, why don't you come back tomorrow and help me return to Howler's Dell? I just need to know if the road is safe. Safe as it can be, I mean. What exactly do you want me to do? I need you to make sure there's no danger hiding in the road from here to Howler's. Or rather, I know there is some danger, but as long as you can get there and safely return, I'm sure we can handle some roaming monsters. He theatrically rubs his hands together. This ballista has hit more meat skulls than I have fingers, and I have never lost a finger, Roadster. Only the toes. Maybe to prove it, he starts to count on his fingers. So, see if the road there is clear, then come here tomorrow, we'll pack my stuff on your horse and move out. But don't come when it's close to evening. We're gonna need 3 hours on our feet, and I won't push through the night. Even sleeping next to an ape-man tribe is safer. He chuckles. And don't make me wait for too long. I can wait for a couple of days if I find some food, but if you don't get back, I'll have to risk it no matter what. Why Howler's Dell? If you want to go south, you should travel to Pelt of the North. I mean, I see your point, but I've never been there. Like, will they afford my iron? Do they have how to pay for it? I need coins to find a handy bunch that'll walk south with me, and I need a new staff and bolts, and I don't know, I just know the village. It's a nice place, and it even has a smithy of sorts. I had a chance to take a look, though. It's a large inn, a safe one. They seem to be rich and have enough hunters to guide you south. You can use your iron to barter. Well, it's a shorter path, I guess. Fewer spots get surrounded by corpsers. If you're sure it's the best option, fine. I will trust a roadster's judgment. Don't work for free. I have ways to pay you, don't worry. I can give you dragons, but I have to sell the iron first, so I'll need a bit of time, you see. 5 for a short escort. 5 for a short escort would be plenty, I'd say. But if you want, I'll give you a secret jar of mine. Very fine mixture. Scares the ape men away. Works on pebblers, too. When you ask if all this stench of urine is somehow related to this potion, he just winks and chuckles. I'd also like to learn more about the villages you visited. He seems surprised. I mean, yeah, sure, but I don't have connections there, just my eyes. He starts to hum. You know, a longer pause. When you get to Howler's, you meet the mayor there for sure. Dice. And whatever you do, don't ask where she got her coins from, right? She's rich. Stupid rich. But don't ask her how this happened. Trust me. He scratches his beard with a mournful look. Fine, it's a deal. I'm going to escort you. Oh, God. Thanks, Roadster. Just come tomorrow and I will make it worth your time. Time for me to leave. Alright, let's get the boop out of here. You're surrounded by barren fields. The path leading west from here ends together with the field, shifting into a meadow, then a forest. In the north, you see a passable path around the palisade. East from here, you see a road leading south and an abandoned building. Why don't I have a way to investigate? Like, can't I just walk over there? Is there something blocking it, or like what? I don't have a way to investigate. Well, what do I have to do to investigate the barren fields? Guess I'll leave. Now, I wanted to travel this way and see how far I can get this way. Oh, hey, look, I can get here now. There's some loud bugs in this environment. Or birds. Birds and bugs. The round pine tree Why did I start that way? The round pine tree blocks the road. For a wayfarer, walking over the thin branches at the top is not much of an issue. Even scabbled egg led on a rope could walk around the stump, but a large wagon couldn't move onward in one piece, at least not without detaching the mules, unpacking all the wares, and moving everything with hands. Cutting a tree into pieces would take hours, even with proper tools, and you can't hope to move it with just the muscles that you and your mount have to offer. I want to look around. What do you investigate? The tree. The leaves are not completely dry, and when you break one of the twigs, it still contains water. There are no signs of sickness that you can recognize, while the termites and other bugs are still sparse. Beneath the trunk, there's no blood, no abandoned limbs. Uh-oh, I think I know what happened here. What does that mean? Am I gonna have to figure out what happened here? Oh gosh, oh goodness, oh golly gee. I don't want to do that. Like, I'm usually I play a lot of puzzle games, like I'm pretty good at solving puzzles, but I think my main issue is like, I overthink things a lot. So it's like, I will come up with an answer and I will think, that's the answer, and then I think, no, it couldn't be that easy. The answer is actually this more complicated thing, and then it turns out that the first thing that I thought was the answer is actually the answer. That's how I always aim about everything. It's like, I'm right, but I talk myself out of my right answer and end up changing it into a wrong answer because I'm overthinking. Or I realize that I'm doing that and I think, alright, the first conclusion I come to, I'm just gonna go with it, and then I should have thought about it more. I'm either overthinking or I'm underthinking, but I'm never just thinking. I want to look at the surrounding area. You walk deeper into the wilderness, searching through the shrubs and trees. You don't find any side paths, nor remains of a camp or a hamlet. The first game trail you find has been used exclusively by animals. The wagon! Can I loot something from it? The planks are still firm and there's no mustiness in the air, but the vehicle needs just a push to fall to pieces, like a child's toy with nothing to keep the parts together. There are ways to construct a wagon with just wood, leather, and fibre, but you find the marks of the hinges, braces, nails, and clamps, which are now all gone. The wheels are missing their steel rims. You find only one linen bag, empty and moist. You can't estimate how deep the tracks are. Tracks are? The ground was hard, so the cart's weight wasn't a significant factor. You don't find any marks of a maw or paws. The top is hip-high and unnaturally smooth. You could comfortably sit down on it. In the trampled grass, you find 2 sets of tracks to follow. There are no hoofprints. The first set is near the destroyed wagon. The wayfarers suddenly stopped. You see where they made a sharp turn. The second trail is close to the tree stump. Most of the marks were left by flat, cheap boots, not suitable for long walks, but someone was wearing hard, wide heels, distorting the ground. Both trails avoid the eastern wilderness. They stick to the main road and lead you north. They could have belonged to 24 people, maybe more. You follow them for a bit, but lose them once there's no more mud and tree needles to find. I guess I should look at the river. It would only take 2 steps to disappear into the deep water. The rocky bank smells fresh and is filled with the sound of frogs, insects, and birds. It is not a good spot to quench your thirst. The beds of long kelp pulled by the flow of the river are crowded with fish and 4-legged creatures that you don't even recognize. You keep an eye on the land. There's no carcass in sight and no signs of shells that would be left nearby. The bushes. I found an arrow. There are no berries left, only broken twigs, fallen leaves, and trampled grass. You notice a pointy arrow made by a human hand with a head made of horn and black-orange fletching. These feathers originally belonged to one of the local pheasants. You see no arrow marks around, not even on the wagon. The western hill. The rocky wall isn't much of a challenge. The top of the hill is covered with short grass and sparse trees. I forget that when I right-click by accident, I end up going to this thing. You notice a couple of bushes with a good view of the road, just next to the remains of a campfire. Charred pieces of wood, ash, bird bones, trampled grass, and a broken earthenware bottle. You follow the deepest tracks leading to the edge of the soft earth. Someone jumped down, or at least stopped stepping on the grass. The road. The road here is already overgrowing, fading away, but it's in no worse shape than the other parts of the southeastern route. No alternate path has been formed around the blockade. Okay, so, also, just to know, I did play the demo of this game, and I do remember getting to this part, but I do not remember anything about it. Just so you know. I don't, already know what the answer is. I have forgotten, because it's been a while. Can I glean more if I look at the places a second time? So okay, here's my thinking. I don't know why I have to figure out what happened, but, maybe there was somebody kind of sitting on the hill, hiding in the bushes, waiting for a cart to go by, and then they jumped down and ambushed the cart, or scared the people in the cart, or, something like that. And the point was, not that they wanted necessarily what the people had. And nobody got injured, it doesn't seem like. I mean, there's no bodies, or, blood or anything, and there's only one arrow. Apparently they just, walked off, there's no, trail of blood or something, so maybe they were just trying to, scavenge the whatever it's called, the cart for, metal and stuff. Metal and goods. Or, it's 2 totally separate occasions. Maybe, something scared the people and they abandoned the cart and somebody came and ransacked it later. The people camping out on the hill don't necessarily have to have anything to do with the cart. Oh shit, what happened to the tree? Well, it was probably cut down. Oh, why do I have to decide these things? Can I save? Actually, I've second thoughts. No maw, no paw. It's hip-high and very smooth. It didn't fall on anybody. Well, it wasn't broken by a monster, it wasn't broken from the wind, and it wasn't dying from an illness. I'm torn between it's impossible to tell, and it was cut down to set up an ambush. Because you don't know that's why it was cut down. Yeah, it could be, but you never know. Could have been because somebody wanted to sit on it. It could have been cut down after this happened. Maybe the cart broke down and then somebody cut it down later. You don't know if they happened at the same time. Hey, this is the same place that I was last time. Oh my gosh, my headache is so bad and my eyes. Maybe if I could find a note on the ground that says, it's an ambush. Oh yeah, but all the people in this world can't write. Maybe? Why was the wagon abandoned? It's impossible to tell. There's so many reasons it could have been abandoned. I don't think it was attacked by monsters. There's no sign of that. Had no time to move it. No time to move it before what? This could be it, but you think there may be some signs of violence when I say it's impossible to tell? Probably passengers. Because if there was really, really valuable merchandise, why would they have to, like, strip down the whole freaking cart for iron and stuff? Wouldn't they have just taken the merchandise and ran? Well, they weren't killed on the spot. I don't think they disappeared into the wilderness because it said they avoided directions. Didn't it say they went north? They suddenly stopped. They made a sharp turn, maybe because the tree fell. Both trails avoid the wilderness, so they're not lost in the wilderness. They stick to the main road and they lead you north. It seems like it's just people, like, walking north. Might have been cut down to set up an ambush. I guess that makes most sense. Why was the wagon abandoned? Was it attacked, though? Wouldn't an attack have more violence? I would say, I don't know. Probably people, because it said there was, like, a lot of people. They went north for no specific reason. This sounds like bullshit. I think I'm definitely not. I'm sure. Oh no, that's it? I don't get told if I'm right or not? No! Well, I can change my thoughts about the investigation, I guess, if I find out more, so... I guess I can't do anything here, because I can't move the tree, so... Curious, I want to... Just to see. Can I load an old save? What will happen? It's gonna be broken because it's different. I only had this last time. I was wondering if it would have, like, the quest information. Oh, I saved before, not after. Right, well, I just feel like the being ambushed thing is maybe too obvious. Also, it seems like a weird ambush if they just... It's like the thing was just taken for metal and then everybody walked away. You think if it was like an ambush, it would be a little more violent, you know what I mean? Arrow wasn't used. It's not like the thing was full of... The cart was full of arrows, or... The people weren't killed, the people were taken somewhere. Or they left. By the way, they went north. It says the tracks went north, so... I don't know. The muddy roads slow you down, damn it. Oh, I might have to stay in Howler's dunk. How much time do I have in the day? 9 hours. Alright, I mean, I guess. I'm kind of not spending my days well, huh? I do have to get to Old Pagos before, like, the 20th day. So... I guess I should go this way, which is way up here, and then I'll have to sleep in Howler's Dell for this stupid night. The path gets greener and meanders between the treacherous precipices. The path gets greener and meanders between treacherous precipices. You ride slowly, passing by birds and ibexes, but in the distance you spot circling harpies, and below you, a roaming mountain cat pursuing a mouflon. You take a sip from your water skin. The air here is a bit dry. Let's hope that the echo of hooves won't reach any larger beasts. Uh-oh, I only have 3 hours. I think I should go back home. The path leads you down again to a small moist valley, impenetrable for a rider. The thicket is made of thorny shrubs, tall grasses, and the weak fallen boughs that nourish mosses and mushrooms. You examine the remnants of the path covered with greenish puddles, without the roots and a fresh layer of pebbles that may still be restored. You look behind you. The road is clear, no ambushes so far, but if you hope to clear this place, you'd better do so soon. It will only get denser with the passage of days. How long does it take for me to get back to Bing Bong? Can I do that? Oh, whoa! No! I'm gonna have to pay a bunch of money to stay in that stupid fart inn. Your muscles, not used to such tiring work, grow tired quickly, but you don't let yourself take a break. Soon you push yourself even more from annoyance than anything. And after you're done, you notice the torn parts on your pants and sleeves. When it comes to pushing aside the bows, you breathe heavily, but you need only enough space to let your palfrey get through. The animals will start to roam this place again, beating the paths. You reach a convenient mountain pass with crags smoothed out by centuries of rain and wind. The sun warms up both the vegetation and the beaten road, and the only beast you spot are loud rooks glancing at you from the rocks and branches. Clearing the rock slide would take hours of work, and a large group of people, while forcing Scrambled Egg to climb up and down, could break its legs. I don't dismount and look around. I gotta travel. I'm sorry. I can't push it. Oh my god, no, I'm stinky. Nobody likes me. I'm gonna have to pay big bucks to get a good room where I can actually wash, which sucks. They said this place is more expensive. Maybe I can sell my fish. You ride through the open gate, then swiftly dismount. Some of the locals greet you politely, but they keep their distance. After you notice your own smell and the dirt on your clothes, you no longer wonder why. I didn't have to pay last time. Is this because I'm dirty? No! You spend a few minutes with Scrambled Egg, but before you reach the square, someone clears their throat. You turn towards a man in his 50s with large hands, an elegant beard, and no hair. The stable master! He both introduces himself and answers an unspoken question. You frown, then realize you indeed saw him before, and your palfrey was nicely taken care of during your first visit to the village. Or rather, I'm one when it's necessary, but I'd rather grind flour, he says with annoyance. Surely you don't think your beast waters itself, brings itself fodder from a storehouse, and cleans its own shit, hmm? It takes time and hay. If this, he points at your companion, is not going to work for it, then you better have a pouch at hand. You look behind you. The stables are not much more than an open shed with piles of planks, 2 donkeys, and a bunch of napping chickens. Would a dragon bone be enough? That's what he has that tone. He nods. For one day, that's fair. He looks around, rubbing his hands together. You know, come to think of it, it's an opportunity for the village. Horse manure makes great plant food. You describe what you've learned during your studies, and the man stops paying any attention. Fine, fine, he sighs and turns round. I'll grab a shovel and a barrow. Issue solved. You're wandering through the village. A short-tempered hunter tries to explain to his parents that there are no bears where he's going. A young woman is chasing after a loose chicken, embarrassed by the giggling of bystanders. I go to the main square. It's getting dark, and the inn is loud and crowded. The innkeeper lights up the rushlights, the workers drink, and the guards are preparing for the night watch. If it wasn't for the presence of the creek and the uncanny lack of beggars, this place would feel like Hofflevan's marketplace. One of the tables is occupied by a dozen or so kids. None of them looks older than 12, and the youngest one, too dirty to resemble either a boy or a girl, is about 6. They are surrounded by their playthings, a mouflon on wheels, an elegant wooden sword, and a painted board covered with rocks, but they're bored and tired. Even though you get only a glimpse of them, the oldest girl notices your attention. She springs up to her feet and approaches you with a few skips. She's already pretty tall, dressed in a worn, subdued tunic so long that it looks like a sack. Honestly, this is how he feels. But he is in public. He doesn't want to seem rude in public in case anybody's watching him. So again, he's got to fake politeness and play the social game. Well, it would be rude to ignore her. I smile and ask what she needs. In his head, he's thinking, oh, these fucking brats, I need to go to sleep. Why did you stop me? She puts her hands together and puts on a grimace of playful misery. Mr. Roadwarden! Hearing such an antiquated salutation makes it difficult for you to hide your smirk. It's not difficult for Thistle. He can hide. Yeah, he never smirks. We here are bored. So bored. She puts the back of her hand on her forehead, letting out a deep sigh. Please, mister, tell us a story, or 2, for each traveller sees with different eyes. The last few words sound like the echo of an old tale. Fine, make room for me at the table. He says in exactly that cadence. Ooh, what's my knowledge? The children gather around and ask you for a minute for them to gather their friends and siblings. After a bit of chaos, there's 20 young souls sitting closely to one another, on benches, stools, and on the ground. The red-haired twins brought a blanket to lay down on. You have a shorter side of the table all to yourself. The older kids understand your lost look in an instant. They start to hush each other, which causes an even greater amount of noise, but in the end there are dozens of eyes staring at you with a mixture of boredom and anticipation. Oh god. So, fairy tales would probably bore the kids, because I'm sure they've heard a bunch of fairy tales. Could also tell them about my adventures exactly as it happened. Or I could tell them about one of my adventures but lie, but they might call me out on the lie, or maybe they wouldn't. And it would be politically advantageous, perhaps, for me to tell them about Hofflevan, because I'm working for merchants in Hofflevan, so I'm supposed to make Hofflevan sound nice. But Thistle doesn't really care that much, and he doesn't want to be that direct. He wants to get out of the situation as soon as possible, so he wants the children to be satisfied. He wants them to take whatever... He doesn't want to, like, tell a bad story, and they're like, Sir, one more, please? That wasn't a very good story. Can you tell me another story? But I could also do a fairy tale thing. No, the usual. I'm gonna save. Just in case. In case I want to go back on my action. I haven't really gone back on actions yet, but I like to have the option. It's short and sweet, though at one point it gets a bit cruel. The youngest kid covers their eyes, which doesn't block their hearing in any way. As you get to the end, the tension disappears. The older kids clap for a bit, keeping their dignity intact, while the younger ones start to laugh and argue loudly about the best part of your tale. Two girls start to wrestle, pretending to be the characters that you just portrayed. Seeing this, the adults decide to intervene. You stand up and the children do the same to show their respect. The girl that had previously talked with you thanks you for your time. He nods and walks away silently, because he just used all of his social energy telling a story to 20 fucking kids. Or maybe he could fake a little bit more social energy. He's got to compensate for the fact that he's dirty and grimy and looks like he just crawled out of a freaking ditch. So maybe because he knows he's dirty and nasty and people mistrust him, he's trying to be nicer than usual. Be like, hey, I know I look a little threatening, but look how nice I am. I'm so polite. I have normal empathy and care about everyone and totally wouldn't sell you all for a stack of books. Haha. It was my pleasure. I returned to my tasks. I need to go inside. I need to sleep. I caught some nice fish. Would you like to barter? I don't want to barter for a food ration. I want to barter for money. I need money. I guess the more money I have, the less food rations I need to spend money on. I mean, the more food rations I have, the less I need to spend money on food rations, so maybe I'll say that. Eric's also approaches the counter, welcoming you with a wide smile. I caught some nice fish. Would you like to barter for a food ration? He raises a fish to sniff it and holds his beard back, keeping it clean. I forget wasn't his voice just kind of like this or something? Not many fish in our creek. I'll put them in a soup or bake them for a sauce. How many do you have? I'll give you a healthy meal for each one. 2. He takes your fish inside, making quite a bit of noise once there. When he returns, he's holding 2 small packages wrapped in wax cloth, which should be somewhat waterproof. I could use a room. Sure thing, he nods. My kids keep it cleaner than you'd find in the city. Just tell me when you're ready. Did someone contact you about work for me? Oh, very much so. Ask for Timo. She's usually at the creek just outside the southern wall doing laundry. She wants to find herself a husband. There's not much in it for you, unless you'll be here for the marriage rites, but it'll make her happier. Thanks. Oh, 2 coins. Oh, but I get a lot of, clean. I do need clean. This I do not need. This would... How can I be negative dirty? I would be dirtier than can even be imaginable. Alright, I'll pay 2 beep coins for beep. Stupid beep. I gotta make coins somehow, man. Sleeping in a room, my own room with a comfy bed, a locked door, and a lot of space. You'll also get a large breakfast, a bush towel with underwear. Wish there was a 1 coin option that was in between this. Share a room with some stranger that will be uncomfortable, but it's only 1 dragon bone. Yoinks! I'm going broke and my goal is to get rich. Your first sleep ends, but your usual 1-hour break is instantly disrupted by noise. You stand up, walk to the window, and see the reason for the commotion. A group of workers is just outside the inn, drinking and laughing. Eric's the innkeeper is also among them. You could join them, but if you do so, you won't get a good sleep tonight, and after such a long day, you may end up exhausted. Oh god. So, he is pretty rested up. Like, the heart is all the way. It's not like he really needs the rest that bad. So he's gotten pretty good sleeps the past few nights. And he is supposed to be, like, you know, out there making a reputation and stuff. So the people like him more and they'll answer his questions more and he'll have more opportunities. Because, like, his whole goal is just, like, gain the trust of everybody, being artificially nice, so that they will like him more, so then he can get more benefits of things, such as being able to get money from them, being able to get free things from them, being able to get better prices because people trust him, and being able to get done with his job sooner so that he can stop running around the place, because he doesn't really want to be doing this. I don't know exactly the story for how he kind of fell into the obligation of being a Roadwarden, but he kind of wants to go back to being a scholar. He's like a scholar first and a Roadwarden second. The only reason he's doing this is because, for whatever reason, he felt like it would benefit him in his scholarly pursuits. He's not really like the hero archetype, like, person who's like, I'm gonna travel the world and get in everybody's business and save people and help everybody. He doesn't really care. He kind of just wants to learn things and explore stuff. But if being fake social helps him further those goals, then he'll suck it up and do it to some degree. So he probably would do this extremely begrudgingly. Like, there would be like a whole montage of him hyping himself up in the mirror first. Sitting there in his room like, okay, Thistle, all you have to do is just talk to the stupid fucking people. Well, it's an opportunity to show that I'm not an outsider. I guess I can sacrifice a bit of sleep. You lose track of time, surrounded by the smells of old ale and cold roast lamb. The excuse for having this celebration is the recent birth, the very same that was occurring when you arrived at the village. The young mother is exhausted and is the first one to leave, but more than 10 people stay around, poking at her partner with kind-hearted jokes. "Use the next week the best you can," says one of them. "No sleep for you after that." You may be a stranger, but your presence is welcomed with joy. The small talk is just as engaging as you'd expect from people who have already slept for 3 to 4 hours today, but there's something pleasant about them sharing their parenthood stories and plans for the future. Not to Thistle, but, you know. Humming of Howler's Creek and the lights in the dark make you feel like you belong here. Not to Thistle. And that's a delightful illusion, especially in a group of strangers. At one point, you're asked about your own journeys, though you prefer to keep most of them to yourself. One of the hunters encourages you strongly to travel to creeks. "They're a fun bunch, you see. They love to meet new people, but be ready to wake up with a spinning head." I'm one of the first to get back to bed. Yay, I'm not as dirty! What? I thought I got four appearance points. Maybe I had -1. That could be a thing. You spend the night in peace in a clean bed with a tightly shut window and a warm blanket. In the morning you find a stool placed by your bed, covered with fried, breaded mushrooms with gravy, slice of bread with butter and cheese, and chamomile tisane. Once you get dressed and go downstairs, a young boy who's covered in mud and speaks unusually loud and enthusiastically mentions that scrambled egg has already been brushed and watered. You nod, but he runs outside without noticing it. The innkeeper is sitting near the door, from time to time carrying out another bowl with either stew or gruel. Thais is nowhere to be seen. I'm just gonna leave. I guess I could talk to Timo. Before you reach the gate, you find 3 washwomen who are walking down the path, chatting loudly. The wet hair on their arms and legs shines, contrasting the mud on their feet. Yay, people with body hair! So often it's so weird and like, it'll be like a medieval TV show or something that's set in some fantasy world that's like akin to medieval times, and like the women have no leg hair and no armpit hair, and like they look they also have like fake eyelashes and like winged eyeliner on. And you're like, okay, that's not historically accurate at all. The wet hair on their arms and legs shines, contrasting the mud on their feet. Some of them wear soaked shirts, all have heads wrapped in kerchiefs? Kerchiefs! You know from the city how hard and sometimes dangerous that job can get. You glance over at their laundry baskets filled with clothes and buckets of urine. Once they notice you, one of them puts her things next to a fence and tells the others to go ahead without her. Her companions giggle, but loyally leave the 2 of you alone. "I was so hoping to speak with a traveller." She starts and looks away. Whenever she speaks, she's both very direct and distracted, struggling to explain her plans. After a brief conversation, you try to sum it all up. So, you seek a man who'd agree to take part in the marriage rites of your druids. She nods energetically, but then freezes. She's tanned from work, but her face is young and smooth, and since her hair is hidden, her bright hazel eyes keep drawing your attention. Not Thistle's attention, but sure. "Not just any man," she interrupts you angrily. "Someone who stays in the sun and works hard. For us and our kids." You ask if she has any children already, and after another minute of her awkward explanations, you take a guess that she doesn't. You ask if it would make a difference for her to move to a different village. "We live good lives here, safe and plentiful. I'd rather stay, but I could leave with a safe convoy." "Alright, see you soon, Bing Bong." "Well, I have almost all of the time, so I should travel." Bloody fucking Bing Bong. Man, I really want to go back here. If I go here, I'm gonna have to spend the night here again, and I'm not gonna have any fucking money! I should go back here and get the dude. Before I forget, because I feel like I will. Does it matter where I take him? I mean, I hope it's okay to take him to the other place. I kind of vouched for that place. If he shows up and they're like mean to him or something, I'm gonna feel bad. The entrance to the scavenger's hideout is open. You see scraps of metal organized in piles, while the old furniture has been dismantled into loose planks and pushed into corners. "Hey, roaster!" The man looks tired. Oh, he should sound more tired than that. The man looks tired and his beard is sticky, but he smiles at you. If you're ready, I'll start packing the tent. But if you don't want to wait, start putting iron on your mount. It'll be quicker. Just say the word and we can leave. Alright. I am going to take him to Pelt of the North because I want to stop by there anyway and see if I can win gambling to get 3 more coins. Because I'm becoming impoverished very quickly. Not impoverished, but just impoverished. Time to head for Pelt of the North. The scavenger keeps asking you to watch out for beasts and wraps the sharper scraps of iron in his cape. Folding the tent and putting it on your horse takes a while, and neither of you can sit down on the large pile of sacks and bundles. There's a long walk ahead of you, but for scrambled egg it won't be much of a burden. Once you clear the room, you walk away. You hear only the birds and horseshoes. Then, after just a couple of moments, the man starts to whisper, "Faster, huh? The apes are looking at us." You don't see any proof of that. Well, nothing we can do about it. I lead us to the southern gate. Oh, Shaduki, I have to travel with this whole man. This whole entire man? Maybe I should have saved. This might be a bad idea. I might have to return to my most recent save if I kill this man by accident. You move forward, slowed down by having to secure the bundles on Scrambled Egg's back and carry your own bags. After half an hour, the man asks for a break. Even though you shared your food with him, he's not fully recovered from days of hunger, but the farther away you get from the ruins, the more cheerful and talkative he gets, mostly speaking about what he needs to buy and how much he hated that damn place. Then the beasts show up. Oh, farts. Not shit I can do. I turn towards the man. What do you want to do, brother? A loud bunch of griffins blocks the road near a pond. For you, their colourful furs and feathers don't look much different than the pack you faced in the valley days ago. There's still some distance between you and them, but it could be crossed in less than a minute. There are maybe 20 beasts in sight, and this time they pay you much more attention. They spread their wings and start to screech, some making a few leaps forward. Your mount is too overloaded for you to turn away and get out of their range. "Oh, better hold our ground," groans the scavenger, preparing his crossbow and dagger. You know what, I am gonna save. Just in case, I like to have a backup, you know, I don't want to get caught without one. Don't want to get caught in a scenario can't get out of by cheating. It's not really cheating, I mean, I know some people don't like that, like when you save and then resave to a better save, but like, I don't know, that's kind of how I play. Because, like, the whole point of an RPG is to do stuff that's in character, and not be limited by your own personal personality and stupidity. So, like, sometimes my character is smarter than I am. If I choose an option and then I go, oh, that was stupid, he would have made a smarter decision because he's a genius and I'm not, then, you know, for me it makes sense to get into the character, like role-playing wise, that you would go back and change the option because you didn't know ahead of time. I do that with all games. I look up how games end before I even play them because that's just how I am. Again, I haven't really had to redo stuff in this game so far, but like I like to be able to, like if I wanted to, if I needed to. I don't think we should attack them. I think we should stay defensive and keep an eye on the horse. True, let's stay on the defensive, but keep an eye on the horse. He nods and blocks the path between the beasts and your mount, then raises his loaded weapon, moving his aim between the approaching creatures. Do we need space to fight? Stay still until creature. I'm not trying to surprise the creatures. I mean, I would say maybe this, but like, I can't fight. I mean, I have an axe, but I don't think it's good to go close range with a griffin. So maybe I should just stay close to him? Hey! I lost armor and bing bong. The man's arrow hits and stops one of the creatures, but it doesn't buy you much time. He realizes your plan and also gets closer to you. The semicircle of beaks and talons is hardly organized. One of the creatures simply leaps at you and the others follow. For the next minute, you slice and dice whatever you can hit, filling the air with screeches and feathers. The sheer number of opponents overwhelms you more than once, and it's difficult to keep pushing them away with your free hand. You don't always manage to stay focused as the pain pierces your shell after a few lucky hits. Judging by the painful shouts, the scavenger is struggling, but is still alive. Finally, it all ends, though not because of a lack of opponents. The one creature you butchered is still convulsing from pain, but the others, some of them hurt, have enough strength to run away. Their will is broken, yet the pack will go on, at least for some time. You'll find Gambeson keeps you in one piece. The man spits on the ground, deeply hurt. May apes and ibexes bang this place day after day. He leans forward. I don't know how you're supposed to deliver that line. I don't know what it means. He leans forward, taking a few deep breaths, then looks at you. Ah! We're alive, Roadster, you and I both! He laughs briefly. Let me draw my ballista and we can move forward. I just smile and try to ease Scrambled Egg's thoughts. It's better to keep moving. Yeah, you don't want a scared horse. Yeah, we got there. Oh shit. What if he fucking dies? I mean, there's nothing I could have done. I hope he's okay. I hope I didn't get him... He wanted to leave. I mean, he asked me to take him somewhere. It's not really my problem. I took him somewhere closer. I thought it would be more convenient. It would be... Because his whole thing was, I don't want to get ambushed on the road. So I was thinking, if you don't want to get ambushed on the road, we should go somewhere that's closer. Though he did say go on the road before and check it out. So if I travel on the road... Hold on. Where the fart was I last? Hold on. Yes. I've already saved. I want to load. Blah, blah. I tell them about my adventures. I tell them these stories. I say it was my pleasure. Then I approach Eric's, and then I ask if you'd like to barter for a food ration, and then I do that. I sleep, and I do this sort of sleep. I want an opportunity to show I'm not an outsider. I leave, and then I talk to Timo. Ravel. What if I go here? So now I've traveled the road. So now what if I go back here? Because now I've cleared the road by myself. Does that make a difference? Same thing. Do we get ambushed anyway? Oh, man. Just out of curiosity. I'm not going to keep this save. Out of curiosity, what happens if we charge them? What? Scaring them works? Oh, man. Well, dang it. Oh, but he's still soaked with blood. So I don't think it matters. I don't think I injured him. I think he's just going to be injured. Because that time we didn't really fight the things. I mean, I didn't lose one of my armors. Okay, so then I will go back. There I am with my half armor. So it doesn't really matter because that time... I thought maybe if I went down... Because he said he wanted me to scout the road and make sure there was nothing there. And I thought, oh yeah, I technically did not pre-travel the road to the end, so I thought maybe we got ambushed because I didn't actually go there first ahead of him. But I just went there first ahead of him and we got ambushed anyway. And he's bloody anyway. So I don't think that was like I don't think that was my big mistake. Though, I should remember sometimes scaring beasts helped. That's probably something, maybe before I face a beast, I should read about it in my bestiary, because that's why I have it. I read the whole thing, but that doesn't mean I retained all the information, because my brain is not a supercomputer. I forget things. The man's sleeve and stomach are soaked with blood, but he tells you to ignore it. Once you get close to Pelt, he whistles enthusiastically. Whoa! You weren't kidding! Oh, what a fortress! The guards open the gate and take care of the scavenger's bundles, which Scrambled Egg welcomes with a nicker. The man introduces himself quickly and asks to be brought some water from the well. Woo! Thank you, Roadster! I need to ask the innkeep if he has any soap. I'm not gonna chop off my damn arm. He clicks with his tongue. But, like I told you, if you want coins, you have to come back tomorrow when my pouch gets heavier. But I can and would prefer to give you the potion that repels 8 men instead. It's useful, but not as much in the south as it is here in the woods. Oh, bloody hell, I'll take the jar. I'm glad. He unpacks a large jar made of clay. I'm not gonna lie, Roadster, it's straight up troll urine. He chuckles. Don't ask me how I got it, huh? If you want to scare off some 8 men, use it before they see you. Trolls eat them all the time, so they stay away for as long as they can. You imagine that you can feel warmth from the jar. Well, I won't miss it. I'll be here for at least a couple of days. You'll find me around if you need me. After all my recent camping, I'm going to spend a few hours kissing this nice, strong wall. He starts to laugh and walks away, waving goodbye. I unpack the jar and make sure it won't spill in my bag. I gotcha. And how do I know that that's true? What if he's lying to me? What if it's just, like, his own fermented piss? And he's like, oh yeah, this'll help you with 8 men, for sure, for sure. Ooh, I can ask about these things? I show her the arrow I found near the fallen tree. Did any of you drop this? She returns it without hesitation. Nah, we're taking ours from the villages in the south, and they don't use pheasant feathers. The locals ask too much for their arrows, honestly, as if they're filled with pneuma or something. I don't know if I want to risk this. How much do I have? 4. Also, I really need to sleep here tonight. Is there anything that I can do for money? Could I sell some piss. Could I sell some crossbow corals? I mean, I don't need them. No, nothing good? Okay. I don't need food. I could ask this guy stuff. I don't know, I'm just gonna stop here for now because it's been about 2 hours or so since I've been recording, and I'm kind of at a point where I don't know what to do because of my lack of money. I have 11 hours in the day. Before dusk, I have 11 hours. Like, I feel like I need to expand, I need to explore more. Stuck this way because there's a tree thing in the way. I can't get past this, and I can't get past this. Or wait, was one of these things temporary? Was it like, there was just some monsters there, and I thought they might be gone the next day or something? Can't get here, and I can't get here. Or here, as far as I know, and I don't think there's anywhere else to go from here, maybe. So I kind of need to go out this way? Oh, but I can't because there's a rock slide. I don't get why this field, they say I can't get across the field, or like there's another field I can look at, and they're like, you don't know, you can't do anything in the field. And also, I really want to sleep at Pelt of the North because I'm having so not money. I think it'd be good to sleep here because I can get clean and stuff and it's only 1 coin. But then I really need to be looking at this part of the map. So it's wasting a lot of time to want to travel back to here every single day. Because really what I need is a way to make money. Yeah, I can't get into the mine until I do the fish thing for the guy. So I could maybe go further here, but I can't right now. I'm probably missing something because I'm recording all of these like multiple days apart. I'm sure back to back there's more that's fresh on your mind. So I guess when I come back, hopefully I can talk to the guy here. Just get a little bit more information, have a conversation, get a little information, all that stuff. Continuing to travel. I should have taken the 5 dragon bones. I don't know why I took the stupid potion. I was just thinking. I don't know what I was thinking. Also, there's no guarantee he would have them the next day, but yeah, I don't know. Also, didn't I open the passage to the dolmen anyway? Maybe I should return there. What if there's like someone there? What if I find, like, someone in the basement and they're like, hey, somebody, did you come in here before? Because somebody stole my stuff. And I'll be like, oh, me? My new most recent save. Alright, I will try to resume later. Hopefully get all those things and find... I'm kind of at a place where I don't really know what to do next, so I think maybe I'll, like, go through things a bit and try and figure out what I meant to do. Anyway, goodbye!